in our so that is the only thing. So if we saw like last time we saw how to the logo and everything, then we have something called as the smart forms. Okay, and in the smart forms, these are the advanced version of the SAP scripts. So this tool is generally useful in developing the forms, PDF files, emails, and documents. Okay, and this tool allows you to modify the forms by using some graphical tools as well instead of using any programming tool. Okay, and in the smart form, like there are a lot of it's similar like to the SAP script, but if you see the comparison, you have multiple page formats are possible in the smart format forms, which is not in the case of the SAP script. Okay, and similarly, like it is possible to have smart form without main window, but in case of the SAP script, it is always required for the main window. And the smart form also generates a function module when activated. Labels also can be created in the smart forms. Okay, and if we want, so what are the advantages of the smart forms? So first of all, they help in adapting the. So this is the architecture of the smart form. Let's go to the next slide. This is the architecture of the smart form. We have this application programming, a BAP function module which is generated, and then you can print it. Right. This is the output device. So what will be the advantage? First is like the smart form allows the user to include the graphics which can be displayed as part of the form or background graphics. Okay. Then we can also insert the static or dynamic tables. Static table in the form of the template, and dynamic tables there is a option where you can add the table. And to make any changes, we have to use a drag and drop and cut and paste. Like unlike in SAP script where we have to write down, like mention the length, breadth, height, width, like manually. That way we don't have to do here in the smart forms. Okay. And when you activate the smartphone, the system automatically generates the function module at the runtime. Okay. So let's go to the smart forms here. So the T code, okay, let's see what all T codes are there. So these are all the following components which are used. One is the form layout, form logic, individual elements, and form interface. And these are some important T codes. So our T code for the smart forms is smart forms. Okay. So if you see over here, the T code is smart forms. And SE71, we have already checked the form printer, and you know about the logo as well in SE78. So there is one, there are like lot of standard smart forms. Okay. So generally what happens is, as I said, like for invoice purchase order, hardly we will create any smart form from the scratch. Okay, there will be hardly any requirement where you will, mostly it will be like either bugs, or you will have to take a copy of a standard SAP smart form, and then you have to add your own like whatever customization you can do it. Okay,
Right.
so there are like SAP example one. These are the examples which are created by standard for your own learning. So if you see this form attributes, okay, in the smart form, this screen which you can see here, this screen is the navigation screen. This one is the maintenance screen, and this one is the form painter. So in the right. So, so what you were seeing in the SAP script, every time what we were showing is the graphical printer, right? But here you can see in here like this. Okay. Navigation window, this navigation window, it consists of nodes and subnodes. They contain all the elements. Okay. And in the maintenance window, it shows the attributes of the elements. And in the window, printer, you can see the layout of the page. Okay. In the navigation window also, you can see in the global settings, like you have this form attributes and this form interfaces where you can declare your importing and exporting parameters. And in the global definition, you can declare something like this. Okay. So like how in our SAP script, what we were doing in our, we need a driver program to send our Like your work area or internal table. But in case of the smart forms, you don't need always a driver program. You can also declare your variables here. Okay, and you can pass it, and you can use it in your form itself. Okay, in the data defined here can be used like in the global data declaration, whatever is there, it can be used throughout the smart form for coding. Okay, and in the form interfaces, here all the data will be passed from the print program. We'll also have to create a driver program. So those data we can pass it through this form interfaces. Okay. Then after that, when you want to create any page or something, you have to, like, this is the display, this is the standard one. So what we will do is, as of now, we will create a copy of this SF example one, and we will see how it looks like. Okay. So what I will do is I will create this, and say we'll put here as ZSF example one. Okay. It is not present. So let's put this inside our training package, and go to the change. So all the attributes, whatever is there from the SF example one, has been copied to ZSAP example one. Okay. Now you can edit it. Okay. So if you see this, this is the same thing. Like in SC78, we created a graphics, and directly you can come and you can give your graphic ID here. Okay. And this is how, if you see this here, the margin also I have given. Like if you remember in SAP script how I was giving the margin, similarly you can drag and drop, or you can give the margin. So this is so if you see this, this is like this, and if I want to keep it here also, I can do it. Okay.
Right.
Right. Then like if you want to display any conditions, like your logo will only display if there is any condition based on your requirement, whatever is the project requirement, you can give the condition there as well. Okay. Then you have this main window. Okay. In this main window, actually there are two things. One is your table. This is the dynamic table which is created. So what we will do is, first let's try to, so let's see, let's activate this form first. Okay. And then if you execute it, I was telling you, right, it automatically generates a function module. Correct. So it generates a function module, and you can call this function module in your program. Okay.
Okay.
So what we will do is we will simply create a text node in the form. All right. So as of now, you just see how it looks like. Okay. Just execute this one. Okay. So this is how it will look like. Okay. So what we will do is we will add a text node here in the smart form, like main window. Okay. So for that, what I'll have to do is go back, and what I will do here, in the main window, just go to the main window, and here you just try to create a text. Okay. And in this text, you just give your name called as my text. Meaning is like text demo or something. And in the general attribute, so you give the text element, and here you have the similar way. Okay. GUI editor. Just give here, save it, and activate it. Okay. So now if you want to test this, So if you see here, our hello world is created, right? You are able to see
Right.
this, right?
Yes.
All right. So after that, so if you see, there are like same thing. Like if you go here in this smart forms, right? Um, Let me go here. Okay, so we have our table. So similarly, what you have to do is you can go and create a table here. Okay, so when you create the table, it will come in this way and it will give the header, main area, and footer. Okay, so if you come to this table, first what you have to do is like in the data. So they have created these bookings into W underscore booking. So if you see the global definition here, W underscore booking definition and T sums, and they would have create like in the initialization. Okay, so here also you can code. Okay, and you have some form routines and the currency fields as well in your table. So in the internal table, you have to give these bookings into the WA booking. WA booking is like whatever you have declared in the global definition. And in the header, so when you try to create here, what you have to do is you have to create a table line, or you have to go to this here, and here also you can create cells. Suppose in this one, you are seeing the table header, right? Double click, press the right click, and you can insert either empty line above underneath, or you can split the cells. So when you split the cells, so like how in SAP script we were giving like Y position, X position, in that way you don't have to do. Rather here you can split the cell and you can adjust the table header. Okay. So in this header cell, you will have your text element, and here you have to give your variable. So if you go inside this variable, okay, this is the heading only. So you can either give the heading like airline heading or the carrier, like this they have given. Okay. It's a similar way to SAP script. Only thing is it is much easier. Why? Because you don't have to write this Y position, X position like this, and you have to design manually. Rather, you have this option to create the like your table directly, and then you are creating your cells. Okay. And the best part in this SAP Smart Forms is the address. Okay. So if you go to the address and if you create it here, like so let me show you here. In the address customer, in the general attribute, if you give a ADRNR number, then it will automatically take it from the like ADRC table. Okay. And you don't have to write any coding for that particular, for showing the address here. Okay.
Right.
And it is in the secondary window. So the more you practice, it will actually help you out. I mean, I have lot of PDFs for the smart forms. Even I've also created one more smart form for the reference as well. So let me show you that. So one is this. So this you can just check it out like in SF example 1 and example 2 and example 3. Okay, SF example 1, I'll just put that in here. Reference smart forms here. Examples in standard. They have step by step, they have just like created for your reference, and you can just like check that. Maybe I will add it like in my when I send you this PPT, I will just add it.
Mm.
So now there is one more smart form also which I have created for you for the example, is this one. If you see this, okay, there is one page in the main window. If you see, okay, there is this header data. I have just given a text element here, and it's the easiest one actually. So what I have given here, the text element here, and I have given the variables here. Okay, sales order document number, order data. For these variables, what I have done is I have created in the global definition WAVBAK, TTVBAK, ITVBP, okay, and this thing. So in your types, I have given here the type declaration, okay, and in case of the initialization, I have written this code where I'm using the import parameters IM WebLN and WABBAK and ITBBAP. That means whenever I give the WebLN number, then based on the WebLN number, it will fetch the record from this VBAK and it will place it in this WAVBAK and ITVBAK. Then what I have done is I have, so if you see this, so let's copy this Z01. Okay. So if you see this page 1, okay, so here there is something called as flow logic loop. Okay, so this loop is created like that. And once I have done in the global definition, when I am creating this in the initialization, okay, in this loop, you just go and give this ITVBAP into W underscore VBAP. That's it. Okay, and after that, just activate it and here, if you see, I just gave you this Vebelen, right? I am Vebelen, I have just kept it. So let's see in the system, what Vebelen we have. Okay, I gave here 5522 and when you execute it, so you can see this, correct?
Yep.
So this is all about the smart forms and I told you about the table. So similarly like the table, right, there is something called as the template also. So table is like dynamic, okay, it will be like varying based on whatever data you have. Suppose in the runtime you have multiple line items, say 5 or 10, so based on that the table will be expanded. But in case of a template, if you know like how many records you will have, then template is it's not a dynamic table, rather it's a fixed table. Okay, so that way, that is also like you can create it here. So you have table and template, but the process is same. Like you have to create, once you create a table, you will have your main header and footer. Similar is the case with the template also. Only thing is the table will always in the main window, which will be like you know, which can be expanded. Okay, and in case of your template, you need to have the fixed table. Okay, so these are all things, and I showed you in the logo. There is, let me, okay, there is one more also I have created, Z test SF. Let me see if it is there or not. Yeah, so this is another program. Okay, this is another smart forms. So if you see this, so here the item table type is, so I've created one table here. So let's go to this table. The data SAM. So if you see this, it's student records. Okay. And in this case, like if you see the item table will is of type table this, work area is this. Okay, you don't have to create any work area here. And in the initialization, I have written the code called as select star from Z data SAM into table item. Okay. Here you can give a input parameter also. Like say for example, I will give like the input parameter is student ID. Okay, based on the student ID, it will. So let me try to do that. Okay, so what I will do is I will give here as IM underscore STD ID. Okay, where so let's take the table data element here. Go to the Z data SM. My data element is this. Okay. The global definition initialization equals to this. Okay, it's activated. Now it what it will do? It will act like a parameter here. Okay. So in the main window, if you see, I have added one graphic here. Okay. So in the graphic, Z panda test is the image which I have added it, and in the header, if you see, okay. So in the row, go to the row. In the output option, I have just given the line type here, and in the main area. So in this main area, again I have created this like cells, like how you created similar way. Okay, so you go to this table and you can see it. Yeah, in this table, see, this is how what I have done is I have just created the line type and I have just split the cells. Okay, and in the header you just give those
Right.
line type. Okay, so after that I have activated it, and now what I will do is I will just pass the student ID here. Say for example, the student ID which was created is 11, right? One student ID it was there. 11. Okay. So if you see this, so that 11 student at this panda it is coming. Okay.
Right.
And 11 and that record it is coming. Now if you want to see all the records, just remove that importing parameter. Okay. And we can see the table. Global definition, go here. In the initialization, just remove this standard ID. Okay. Since this is a kind of a interface parameter, that's why we have to also declare it in the form interface. But if you are not using it, just activate this smart form, execute it. Okay, no need for, okay. Okay, fine. You can declare it. I think it will not ask. It will not ask. Only when you like declare that in that initial, see, now the whole table it is coming. Got it, right?
Right.
Okay. And like if you there are, so if you want to call a smart form in your driver program, then the function model which is used is SSF function model. Okay. So there are a few programs which is created. you can just check your like in your system also there will be lot of I actually didn't get time to create but there are few programs already which is created here, like for example here what they have done is see, this is the function module which is called, and this smart form, suppose this smart form you have created it. Okay, go to the smart forms. The smart form underscore 4. Let's see if you have. So this smart forms is created, and they have something template container and all. So whatever I was writing in the initialization, correct? The same
Right.
thing. What you can do is you can put the logic in your program outside your. See, this is a very simple program again. So they have created an EKPO structure, and LFA1, which is like customer master. So purchase order, line item, and the customer. And then we have to declare this. So let me show you this in a proper way. So you are able to see my screen, right? So
Right.
if you see this, like here, I have created a structure. So here I have created a structure for EKPO, and LFA1. This variable is required, and we are passing this ablen, and this control parameter is for printing thing. So here I have just used the select query, and we are passing it into EKKO and EKPO. Okay, and then what we are doing is this SSF function model. We will call this smartform name, and this FM name is for the function module which is generated. Dynamically, it gets generated always. So this function module we cannot give like this, because in dev it is showing in this way. But when you transport it to the quality system, the function module will be different, right?
Right.
So you cannot specify like function, or that's why this function model will be dynamically generated when you give the smart form. Okay, and then we are giving, like, if the FM name is not null, then you are passing the like control parameters. Okay, once you give the control parameters, you give this WAKKOL, whatever is passed in this function module, right? You are passing those variables in here. When you execute it from the like your program, see, this is how it will look like. Okay, so this is like from creating the driver program. All right. So this is the function module which is used to call your smart form.
Right.
That's it. So that's it. That's all about your forms.
Smart
Okay,
forms. Yeah.
and yeah, just go through it. And so this one also, like, they have actually this one, as I told you about the loop, and smart form 4 was about template, I guess. So this one, see, if you see this, this is a fixed kind of a template which is created. You just create this template, and then here, see, just have to split it. Okay, like how I told you. So here, when you change it, it will give you that create lines, and in that, here you will have to just add your variable name. Simple. Go inside this. See the PO number. Okay, this is for the header actually, and in the main window you have another table. Okay, so in this table you will get all your so in the data, just go there and you will see this EKPO to WA underscore EKPO. You will pass it. This one is required because this is a loop, right? How we were
Right.
using it in our program. If you don't do this, then only single line item will display. So if you want to display multiple line items, you have to do it in the interpreter. Okay. Any doubt so far?
No, no. I need to try the smart forms because it is necessary for me to learn this because we get the request to create label.
Sorry?
No, no, I'm saying I need to practice the smart forms because we get the request to create labels and stuff. So I'll practice it and I'll let you know.
Okay. Fine. So just have a practice. I'll